think we did. Okay. I'll roll again. I don't think Jinku really has much experience with that. She comes from a pretty selfish line of people.
Torto's done a couple altruistic things for me, and it's probably the first time anybody's really kind of been like that. Given me some tarts, helped me out with a couple different projects, to the point where Torto's the only one who isn't named on my protections. He can come and go in my little tower.
There was once this little old lady named Amelia who wrapped me in a blanket and threw me out of the house. She just accidentally broke something in it. I mean, I was only 2, so come on. She wrapped me in a blanket and kept me warm until I was well back in.
For Zayara, it was probably when she was living on the streets, and there were a couple of like restaurants that would give her free meals at the end of the day.
I mean, mine would have to be Boo also, and Zara and Jinku. I don't know about Mix yet. I mean, they took in the Frog of Doom, and not many people would do that.
And we give you
Aww. As often as we can.
Yes. I've even started naming them Pocket Tarts after Pocket Peanuts.
Aww.
But do you even have pockets?
Yes,
Not important.
You can't find them.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to have pockets. It's the name that counts.
Okay. All right. So, anybody want to give us a quick recap of the shenanigans you got up to last time?
Oh yeah, Boo and I went into the arena and beat the shit out of everybody. The end.
Fight Club.
Done and done. There was
The
some,
businessmen are here.
There were some good businessman fights. There were some mediocre kind of crappy fights with like this warlock and their Loxodon friend.
Friend's a strong word.
Friend is a strong word. I'm sorry, we don't use that word.
Oh,
Forgot about it.
No friends.
Yeah, and then I mean that was kind of the session. We just fought a bunch. It was good times. Fight Club.
Yeah, and I guess it's pretty.
You forget that I totally cheated and shot a guy in the neck with a draw dart.
You did.
Yes, he got like a fantastic critical on one of the other contestants. Very nice.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was. So yeah, it's probably very fitting we had a nice question about altruism this time, since where we left off last time, you guys are about to beat the crap out of each other. So nice altruistic vibes going into there. So, so yeah, where we last left off, the last fight that we had was, I believe, what was it? Was it one of Jinku's fights? I think was the last one. Oh wait, yeah, the last one was with all the. No wait, the last one was with the goblins. That's right. That was with Boo and Torta against the remaining goblin entourage of.
I thought that was me and Mix.
Oh, wait, was it?
It was.
Oh wait, okay, right. All right. Ah, that's right. I gotta scroll down in my notes and where I have this in order. There we go. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, there was the goblins that were the leftover entourage of the guy that you guys knocked out. And it turns out that the final round of Fight Club this evening ends up being the businessmen versus the lethal weapons. So, yeah, so at the moment, you all are, kind of, out around the sides of the ring with all the other patrons of this place. Maybe getting ready. You see Keln coming around, taking like last bets for the final fight if anybody wants in on that. And at least it seems like things might be getting underway within the next few minutes. You kind of see Kelm to the south of you, talking to some people at one of the southern tables. Anybody have any last minute bets on themselves?
I'm gonna drop 100 on the businessman.
All right.
I'll
Mix is going to be cocky as hell and drop 650 gold on him and Jinku.
I'll put 155 gold, 38 silver, and 1,002 copper on the businessman. You don't have to write it
Wow.
down. It's everything I own.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some math of this. Oh, geez. Let's see. Let's see. Torta.
Generally, this is illegal in betting. You know.
Oh.
But
Oh.
generally, you're not allowed to bet on yourself.
Oh, I don't
We're in
care.
the underground
This is
fight club.
illegal.
I don't
Club.
care
You
about
can do
real
what you want.
betting rules here.
I'm
What do I
just
look
trying to help this poor, naive, sheltered person who doesn't even know how betting ratios works until 2 weeks ago.
like? True.
This poor, sheltered ex-Mormon who's
You said
never
it,
done
not me.
anything bad in his life ever.
Oh boy.
Can you give us the map too?
Oh yes. Let me give you the map. I forgot I hadn't shared that yet.
Thanks, Daddy.
Our lovely little fight pit. All right, let's see it.
Daddy.
All right. So he's got, Keln takes these down, writes these down in his little ledger book that he's got here, keep track of everything. And he, kind of nods at, as he's like coming around to you all. Afterwards he kind of, comes up and taps on, Jinku, you, and Mix, and then also on Torta and Boo, and kind of motions to you. Well, final fight will be starting soon. You best come ready yourselves. And kind of motions towards the kind of ready rooms off to the western side.
So, which ready room are me and Jinku in?
We'll just, we'll put. Oh wait, how do I? Crap.
Right click and hit unlock tokens. It's just one to the bottom left.
Okay, they're unlocked now. Should be able to move them. Doesn't really matter. Whichever room you get into first.
Mix, get your ass over here.
As we're doing this, like Boo's like walking over there, and he's like, you can't see it, but he's pretty much frothing at the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And like as he watches Mix and Jinku go in there, he just like looks at them and he almost screams, "I will drink your blood!" And then he like slaps himself in the face like 4 or 5 times, and then like goes into the ready room with Torta.
See, I was busy. I was out in the crowd. I found a couple bards. So when we come out, we're gonna have intro music, and then like
Classic tune. Classic.
Yes.
How do I tell? Mix is going to lean over to Jinku. Stay 5 feet away from me at least. it's gonna get nasty. I'm gonna be throwing off some big shit.
Jinko just looks at him.
Yeah.
All right, so Zara, the rest
The
of
length
your
of your trunk.
length of your trunk away. social distancing. Practice good social distancing in the fight ring. So Zara, the rest of your group has gone back in here and are about to beat the tar out of each other. What are you doing out here?
I'm probably just sitting in the front row
With a big bucket of
eating
popcorn.
eating snacks, half hoping that I don't have to like drag a corpse back to the inn.
All right.
Why, it'd just be like any other day.
All right. So Zara's out here, popcorn at the ready to watch what's going on. And Zara, you see Kelm, kind of move over to that western end like he has for all the other matches, and he, speaks up to the rest of the crowd and says, "Welcome, all of you. The final fight for tonight. We have two newcomers. Both of them, first time here tonight, and ended up in the finals against each other. This will surely be interesting, I imagine. First out, let us introduce again here the Lethal Weapons." And you hear him you see him raise his hand. Zara and Jinku Mix, you and your ready room kind of hear him call out the Lethal Weapons here. And you make your entrance. What are you doing?
Mix, you go ahead and tell him I'm doing something a little different this time.
Okay. You want me to do the thunderclap?
Do whatever you want. You go first.
So Mix is gonna start coming out and doing his thunderclap, but he's gonna put a little extra magic in it. Like he wants people's ears ringing. He
Okay.
wants dust flying off the ground. And
Okay. So Mix, you're making your way up a little side hall here, doing your little thunder claps, and like each time this strikes, you get like a nice kind of dramatic like of dust from the ground here, kind of poofing out around you, as you make your way towards the ring, kind of filling this kind of whole hallway with this kind of lingering cloud of dust as you make your way up. Jinku, what are you doing?
So I'm gonna get like just to the end. I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
stop. I'm gonna look at the main guy, shake my head, and turn back around.
Uh-huh. Okay. So you come out, you turn back around and make your way back, and Kellen kind of looks over in the ring, sees Mixer just getting over there, finishing up another thunderclap, dust kind of forming around the ring, and you see, Kellen shout out, "Oh, it looks like one of the Lethal Weapons has stepped out of the ring. Looks like it may be an even more interesting fight than we expected." And Mix, you kind of turn and you see Jinku heading back up the hall there. What are you thinking we're doing?
I'm thinking, oh shit,
Oh shit!
I can't take them both on.
And it's like you're kind of sitting there staring back up the hall, and Kellen, like he had just been talking about how your partner here had headed back up the hall, but he's interested in keeping things running, and you see him kind of fling out his other hand, and of course, our other team, the businessmen. Boo, Torta, what are you doing?
Oh, we got the music playing.
Yep, you got your little bards that you recruited that were in the audience. They're kind of tooting away as best they can with this kind of foreign sounding theme music that you described to them, doing their best.
Taking care of business.
Every day.
So,
All right, so what are you guys doing as you come out?
Same as The last times we come, walk up a little ways, Torta grabs Boo by
Mhm.
the back of the mask,
Mhm.
leaps up in the air, and Boo lands, and Torta is nowhere to be seen.
Oh.
And Boo turns and bows to Mix and says, "May the most intelligent one win."
All right. All right.
It
So
just got so interesting.
so, so Boo, you come landing down on the ground. Torta nowhere to be seen. You hear like some gasps from the crowd because they saw Torta leap up into the air and just seemingly disappear somewhere up in like the darkness of the top part of this like room. And like even Kellen looks surprised as you kind of land down the other side, and he says, "Well, it looks like this has turned into a one-on-one fight. At least the odds are a little fairer for you, it seems, for the lethal weapons." And he kind of chuckles, looking at you, Mix. He says, "Well, let's get this underway." And he kind of moves off to the side, and you hear the little dinger that they've been using to signal the rounds go off. And Mix, Boo, you guys are in the ring. Go ahead and roll up your initiatives. All right. Boo, looks like you are up first.
I hold my action.
You hold your action. Okay. All right. Which brings us to Mix. You see Boo kind of just standing there, kind of readying himself, but not taking any steps or moves so far. What are you doing?
Well, considering I don't know where Torto went, and I know those two would not separate, I'm just going to stand there very calmly with my hands at my side, wait and see what happens.
All
But
right.
I'll hold.
You guys.
Starting off with a staring contest. All right.
They hear a boo from the crowd.
It's Sayara.
Boo!
Some popcorn falls out of the corner of her mouth.
We want blood!
All right, Torta. Looks like I think Boo cast invisibility on you. What are you doing?
God goodness, you grounds. Sorry, it keeps resizing itself every time I touch anything.
Yeah, I just see your token like doing some crazy spins.
It's being the crazy eight-legged frog.
Two small children from the crowd are like, "That's what killed my mother!"
Who let the kids into Fight Club?
If you
All
need me,
right.
if you need me to, I can move you around, Torta, if it's being fucky for you.
Well, Tortoise holding his action because he was waiting for some things to happen.
Okay,
Boo!
Something.
Y'all don't know he's here. Nobody
that's
knows
true.
he's here.
That's true. Nobody can see him.
He's clinging to the ceiling.
All right.
Now Boo's just kind of standing there and like seeing that Mix won't move. He smiles and he says across the ring, "Ha! I figured you'd be too scared to break the bond. Do it. Come on, harm me, little one. I'll eat your face."
All right.
Nix is just going to cross his arms and smile because he knows Boo can't do shit to him until he does something.
Poor tiny little hammer midget. Can't figure out how to do anything. Got to make deals in order to get your power.
All right, Zara, Jinku, are you guys doing anything? I know, Zara, you're probably still watching. Jinku, what are you doing? Are you just chilling back in that ready room?
Watching watching very bored.
I'm kind of watching from the hallway over here.
Peeking around the corner.
Yep.
All right.
Not feeling bad at all that I screwed Mix.
All right. Next round comes up. Looks like Torta, you're up first.
Still hanging from the ceiling.
Still hanging from the ceiling. Okay. There's like this tension hanging over the ring. Like most of the audience is kind of sitting here, and there are some boos from the audience, but most of them are kind of sitting there in this kind of rapt silence, kind of watching these two, these heatedly stare at each other across the ring and call out to each other. Boo, what are you doing?
I pull out my pipe. I
'Kay.
walk over as I light it.
Okay.
And I say, I knew you didn't have the guts to fight me. You know what the end of this would be. And then I pee on his shoes. And Boo doesn't drink much liquid, so and he eats a lot of asparagus. So this is almost black. Like I probably have kidney issues.
God. Oh dear. All right. So Boo, you head over and urinate on Mix's shoes with this just foul, likely diseased issues that you've got. All right. Mix, what are you doing? Boo's come over here, insulted you, pissed on your shoes.
Mix is going to send his familiar. I can do that as a bonus action while
Okay.
I'm sniffing for Torque. And I'm going to just cast Blade Ward on myself.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. It's like where are you having? Are you just having this familiar kind of try poking around the ring, trying to see if it can suss him out or what?
I'm going to send him around the edge of the ring first.
Okay.
And then I'll send him scurrying up and around. Because if Tortai leaves the ring, he's out.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So your little familiar is moving around. Boo.
Can you do that? And Blade Ward?
Send out a familiar if it's a bonus action. I don't see why not.
It's an action, isn't it? To control your familiar? Or have it do things? Oh, it has its own initiative. It acts independently. And I'll grin and I'll say, look at you. You got a free familiar. I had to study for mine, but your little bitch ass sold your soul for it, didn't you? You ever want to learn something, I mean, you could beat me and I'd be willing to teach you anything I know, but I guess we both know that you would lose and nothing would come of this, would it? And I turn around and slowly walk away with my back to him.
Okay. Torta, still on the ceiling?
Yep. And I can see his familiar moving around down in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like below you.
All right, I'm gonna drop down on top of the familiar, pop out the frog arms of doom, and smash this thing with 6 attacks.
Ooh. See, you're familiar. What was it? What was the form that it took again, Mix?
It was a weasel, wasn't it?
I think. Trying to remember.
I know he had me carry a weasel with me to do some investigating at one point.
Yeah, it's a weasel.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Here, let me just toss. There. Tossed a weasel into the combat tracker.
Eat its face when you're done.
Although with 6 attacks, I will be very surprised if this weasel survives. That'd be a fucking dodgy weasel.
Stranger things have happened.
True. Here, we'll put it on the board too.
All right, we're gonna start 6 attacks.
All right. That definitely hits the weasel. And that definitely kills the weasel.
I'm gonna take and pick the weasel up and pop it in my mouth, straight looking at Mix and swallow it.
Oh, man. All right.
It's a real like Hannibal Lecter vibe going on tonight.
I guess so. So, Mix, like you see, your familiar gets absolutely annihilated, and you see Torta appear near you here, about partway across the ring, taking out this familiar. What are you doing?
I'm going to attempt to hit Torte with a Witch Bolt level 3, so that's 3 die 12.
Ooh, okay. Okay. And does that roll 3 times for that, or is that just one roll, and then if it hit, it would do 3 times?
I don't know.
Let me see. Let me take a look at your thing. I feel like it's probably roll once, then attack 3 times, I think. Where's your witch bolt?
Well, because it automatically it would deal 3 die 12 on the first, and then 1 die 12 every turn.
Oh, oh, that's right. This is like the sustained zippity zap spell.
Pretty sure the way I understand it, if you cast it at a higher level, it would be the 1 attack, and then 3 die 12 on the first, and then 3 die 12 each consecutive turn.
That's the way I read it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't drop down to
Okay.
1 after that first.
Okay.
If you elevate that shit, it's gonna wreck every turn.
Okay. And let's see. It doesn't look like, I'm not seeing anything about half damage on a miss. It just misses. Okay. Or failure.
Yeah,
Or
it's a
whatever.
hit or miss spell.
Okay,
I
it's
was
hit or miss
gonna
spell. Okay.
try to wreck Torte's
Sure.
face.
Sure. Okay. So the switch bolt, comes streaking out of you, Mix, in Torta's direction, and he manages to kind of duck slightly just at the right moment, and this kind of goes crackling against the kind of railing that they've got around the edge of this, like singeing it pretty well, but doesn't seem
Oh,
to.
it explode that railing.
Yeah, it probably would. Actually, that railing like right behind Torta there. Yeah, then that kind of blasts outwards, little bits of wood and things kind of shattering, raining over to the western end of the room here. All right, that weasel is dead. He wasn't in the tracker for very long. Goodbye, weasel. And Mix, looks like you're up again at the top of this turn.
Oh, I'm going to try the same thing again.
All right. Oh, I think that rolled the damage, not the attack.
Oh, crap. Take that off, Torta.
Here, yep. There we go. Took it back off. Okay, that one did hit Torta. So go ahead and roll damage on that.
Okay, let me add 2 die 12 to this.
Okay.
Oh,
Boy.
The die 12 is the second before the last one, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Sorry, Torta. This is gonna hurt.
Ooh. All right. So, what is your witch bolt? What color is that? Like, what does that look like?
I'm a celestial, so it'd be like a bright blue.
Bright blue. Okay. Cool. So this, bright blue, energy bolt, once again kind of lashes out from Mix here, and does manage to catch you this time, Torta. Maybe as he was, this came out pretty soon right after the previous one. So the previous one came out, you ducked, zipped over you, blasted the fence, and then poof, here comes out the other one, and you don't manage to get out of the way in time, and you take this right in the torso. You feel this, this energy kind of coursing through you. You can see like the kind of tips of your fingers got a little blue glow around them as this kind of comes through you. It hurts. It hurts good. Zara, Jinku, something finally happened. What are you guys doing?
I'm still just watching.
Still just watching?
Yeah, Zyra's watching more intently now.
Okay.
She kind of laughed a bit when the ferret got eaten.
The weasel got eaten.
Jinku did too.
Jeez.
It was
All right.
funny.
This is why they're friends.
This is my friend. All right, Torta, you just got a real hefty blast into you. What are you doing?
He doesn't look phased. He just smiles, looks right at him, moves to attack. Doing the 25-foot leap, coming down with that first attack.
Ooh, okay. And a miss. And a hit. Ooh. And a hit. Ooh. Ooh.
The last three are stunning strikes. He's got to roll 15 con save.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a con for me, Mix. We'll see if these stunning ones. I assume they did they just like knock him unconscious on a failure or something like that?
Honestly, he's just stunned for a round. It doesn't say any more than that.
Okay, so just kind of like temporarily kind of paralyzed or something like that. Okay. Oof.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a hurtful Constitution
Actually-
save.
It's the end of my next turn.
Okay, so he's just kind of like dazed, kind of reeling there with that. I assume then with the stunning. Who?
Yep.
Okay. So I guess the way that I would picture that would be, in Mortal Kombat, before you do a fatality, they're kind of standing there going. That's kind of how I picture how that looks. So, Boo, that brings us to you. Like as you were, walking away with your back turned, there's a whole lot of blasts of energy going on behind you, and you turn around and see Torta laying into Mix here, and Mix kind of left reeling, looking not so hot at all.
Any of those break the concentration on his witch bolt.
Ooh.
I assume they would. Hold on, let me look.
It needs to roll the
Oh.
save.
Oh yeah, there's a save. That's right.
What is this?
It's just it's concentration. So I think concentration you just roll. Is
The
that just a,
effect didn't go on me.
No, it's not a flat. It's if you have the effect, or if you have like when you cast something like that, if you put the concentration thing on you, it'll auto roll it. But it is. One sec.
It's not
It's
going
like a
on me.
formula.
Sorry.
Oh, I see it. Let's see. Witch bolt self. Hold on. Let me see if it says.
It's a. Well, it's the. Hold on.
Trying to see where it says what the save is.
It's a formula. Okay. The formula for concentration is you roll, and you're rolling a con save of 10 or half the damage that you have taken, whichever is higher.
Okay. Well, he took a buttload of damage, and half of that would be
Right.
like 50.
It's every time he gets hit, he rolls that con save.
Oh, every time he gets hit.
Every time you take damage. It's not
Holy
cumulative. It's
Oh, it's not
so he
cumulative.
would
Okay.
need. Yeah, so it's always going to be a 10. It looks like because he never did
Yeah,
over
he
20
never did
damage.
more than 20. Okay. So it looks like we need one,
Yeah, how-
2, 3, 4. I think.
Is it 3 or 4? 1,
Yeah, I think 4.
3,
So 4 con
Three.
saves.
no, 3 because he
It's
hit me
3.
once for
Oh,
I see
11.
Oh, that's right. That's correct. Okay, 3. Yeah, 3 con saves.
And how does the stunning
So
strike
it's-
work? Because
Uh,
that would knock him out of concentration also.
At the end. Sorry, I don't mean to like talk over you. DM.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Ooh, that was a fail because you shouldn't have the +2.
So at the end, yeah, if they're incapacitated, that's the
No.
last bit. If you're incapacitated, you lose concentration. And
Ah.
then the way stunned reads is you're incapacitated.
Okay.
So
Okay. That makes sense.
so
So
he
I-
would have lost it anyway when he got
Yeah.
stunned.
Okay. That makes sense with the stun that you wouldn't be able to keep it through stun. That makes sense. Okay. Okay. So Boo, we're at you. Mix is looking not so hot on the other side of the ring.
Still smoking.
Still.
I am digging through my. Oh yeah, I am digging for something I purchased not too long ago in my pack,
Okay.
and I look at the stunned mix, and I say, "Father was right about you. You do need me, and I'd be around forever because you'd always be too much of a coward to do anything about me." And then I lick the needle that I have in my hand, and I pull out a little bottle in the other hand, and I nod at Mix. That's my
Okay.
turn.
Okay. Jinku, you doing anything?
Nothing different.
Nothing different. Still watching. Okay. Boo, looks like you're up at the top of the round with your whatever you're doing.
I am holding until Mix is unconscious.
You're holding until he's unconscious. Okay. Mix. Wait. You'd still be. That's
Okay.
until the end of
He's
your
still
next
stunned.
turn, Torta, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I guess.
So
Can you really? Can
I
you?
wouldn't be
Is there
able to
like a
use my-
roll you can do when you're stunned to like snap out of it, or is that something you're just stuck with?
That's part of the ability. Stunned until the end of my next turn is the way stunning strike reads.
Okay.
would I still be able to use my mind?
It seems like it. Like it looks like it. Yeah, at least from what Boo just posted. Yeah, sun creatures
He's
incapacitated,
incapacitated.
can't
so
move, can speak falteringly. So you can kind of speak, roughly. But it looks like you can't take any
Ooh, can I
actions.
cast a voice spell, maybe?
You can't do any actions or reactions.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like pretty much
Okay.
all you can do is say something. Kind of
Oh, I don't
roughly.
even have to say something to use my healing light.
That's an action.
It just works. It's a bonus action.
Hmm.
But I don't have to do. All I have to be able to do is think.
Okay. Guess if it's a bonus action. Okay, yeah, I guess since it's a bonus action and like all you have to do is think. I'll allow that. Okay. Okay, interesting. This will be interesting. Okay. So Mix, you're stunned, you're reeling, but like in your mind, you're still able to kind of call upon this deeper, innate power that you have. Is that one from like your race, or is that from your class?
That is from my celestial mother.
Okay, that's part of your race. Okay, yeah, I'd say especially given that, I would definitely say that could probably still happen. So yeah, so you kind of feel this, you still kind of feel this innate part of you that's able to kind of push somewhat through the stunning that you're under, and you kind of feel this, this celestial light kind of flowing through you here, and kind of healing your wounds somewhat from the damage you've taken here. But you're still stunned until the end of Torta's turn. So Torta, you kind of see this kind of faint, kind of white glow kind of going on around Mix here in front of you. He's still kind of stunned, still kind of reeling, but he's got a little kind of a glow going on around him. What are you doing?
Continue to punch his face in.
All right. Ooh. Ooh.
Well, hold on. These two are stunning strikes again.
Okay. Ooh, miss and a miss.
Well, one miss. I got one more.
Okay. Oh,
Still a miss.
miss and a miss. All right. We got one in there at least. All right. So, at the end of that round, looks like Boo, you're up again. You've seen this kind of glow going on around Mix, and now that Torta's smacked another blow onto him, you see kind of Mix coming back a little bit out of this kind of stunned state that he was in. He seems to be kind of reorienting himself a little bit. What are you doing, Boo?
Oh, I'm not worried. I sit down with the needle in my mouth and I pull out a piece of parchment and I begin drawing a stencil on it while I'm smoking. That's my turn. And then I hold the rest of my action until after Mix is unconscious.
Okay. Torta, looks like you're up again.
This is like the weirdest fight this crowd has seen.
It definitely is. Like, there's definitely been some, excitement at the actual blows that are falling, but like, there's kind of a quizzically interested uh, feeling you can see from like some of the crowd members. Ooh. So Torta, Boo sat down on the ground here and started doodling on a piece of paper. The crowd is kind of, you see some of the people in the crowd kind of trying to like look over each other, trying to get a glimpse of what the heck he's doing here, while the other team's getting wailed on by this multi-armed god-looking frog. And Torta begins wailing on Mix here again, and one last blow finally seems to put him over the limit. And you see Mix drop to the ground, unconscious. Okay, so you succeed on that. As Mix, you're dropped on the ground, you're rolling this. You're kind of fading out into unconsciousness. You hear the bell kind of starting to go off for the fight. Jinku's there. You just saw Mix drop down to the ground. What are you two doing?
Just watching to see what happens next.
Okay.
It's my turn now.
Yep, it's Boo. What are you doing, Boo?
I sit down with my ass right on his chest, legs up on his shoulders, so his head is in between my legs. Put the piece of parchment on his face, and I lick my hand and I rub it on his face a couple times on the parchment, and I peel it up, and then I dip the needle in the bottle and I begin work. It's going to take longer than 6 seconds, but I start with a C on his forehead.
Start with a C on his forehead. Oh boy. Torta, what are you doing?
I'm just laughing.
You see kind of Kellen coming over in your guys' direction. Kind of, he has kind of an interesting look on his face, like he seems glad that the fight is over, but he also still seems kind of puzzled at what in the world is going on here. You see behind him, each time that you guys have fought in the ring, whoever the loser was, pretty shortly after the round had ended, there were these kind of two kind of burly dudes that had been kind of acting as kind of guards around the edges here, but they typically came over and then like dragged the losers off to the north somewhere, but like he didn't really pay too much attention to like where they were going before. But you see Kellen coming over, kind of a congratulatory look on his face, and these two kind of burly guys in tow, kind of making their way in the direction of Mix here, who's lying on the ground.
Oh, I will make sure they can't touch him. Like all arms bristled. Like leave him alone.
Okay. All right, 2 successes and a failure.
How is an 18 a fail?
Wasn't that Reese's most recent one a failure? Oh
I
wait.
think you've got it. There's a rule to auto roll. You might.
Oh, it is. What the heck? Where is? I think I didn't have that on in Classic. Where do I turn that off? I don't want to
In
auto
the
roll
rules.
that. In the rules. Hold on.
It doesn't matter. Just go.
Okay. There it is. Found it. There we go. Off. Okay. So Torta, you're kind of bristling up, trying to keep these guards back from whatever the heck Boo's up to here. And Kellen's, kind of trying to talk you down here, Torta, like, friend, the match is over. We need to dispose of the loser here. We have other business to attend to.
We're attending to business right now.
And he kind of
We're
looks.
doing business.
We're doing business. So he's kind of like trying to peer over your shoulder and sees Boo doing whatever the heck he's doing. And he says, "Well, fine. We'll give you a few moments to do whatever desecration, I guess, you intend to do. But
I mean, we
we
could
need to
tie him up.
haul him off."
We could tie him up so you can do this elsewhere, but I like the public humiliation factor.
All right, there we go. Okay, so now we're on Mix's turn. Go ahead and do your roll, Mix, since I turned off the auto rolls.
Oh, and Nix is dead.
That's why you don't play around with that shit.
Oh, all right. So Boo, you're sitting here, kind of doing your whatever it is you're doing, and you kind of feel Mix go kind of limp under you here, like more than he was before. What are you doing at this point?
I finished what I'm doing. I think. And that is tattooing the word coward on his forehead.
All right. So, Boo, you managed to finish this, and the two guards that were with Kelm, finally come over and pick up Mix, and begin kind of there's these stairs that kind of go up to a little higher ring around the edge to the north there, and you see them pick up Mix, and they head up that northern way, and then you see them go along the back across the northern end of the room, and then they seem to go into a little hallway to the the back corner there. You can't really hear it over the crowd, but you think you can see like a door open back there and then shut, and they disappear back into that back room. Jinku, Sarah, you see Mix getting carted off out of the ring. Boo, Torta, you guys are still standing there. You see kind of Kellen going around, distributing some of the winnings around to other people in the crowd. I assume that he'll probably get to you in a moment here. What are you all doing?
I think at this point I'll go over and talk to Zyara. It's like, wow, did you see that coming?
Kind of. I didn't expect Mix to win.
Let's see. So you see Torta, Boo, you see, Kellen come over your direction. And with the winnings from... Fuck. Okay, if it was 50-50 odds, what would I be multiplying this by?
It would double.
It would double. Okay. All right. So
Yeah,
he comes
just double.
over and begins distributing the winnings to you all. Boo, with your now 310 gold, 82 silver, and 204 copper, and then Torta with your
2004.
Oh, 2004. I didn't realize it was 1,002 copper. All right, and then Torta
Yep.
with your much easier 200 gold. All right. So as this is all happening, Mix, you find you very, very slowly find yourself coming to, and you find you're kind of laying. You're not quite sure where you are, and you kind of blearily open your eyes. Maybe wipe a little bit of blood out of them. You had a rough time there, and whatever you're laying on feels kind of squishy. Like it feels kind of squishy, a little warm, and you're kind of barely on the edge of consciousness right now, and you kind of look around. You see kind of more stone walls, kind of similar to the rest of the Fight Club. And as your head kind of lolls to the side to kind of get a look around, you recognize you recognize what you're laying on is what looks to be a pile of other bodies, and some of them look familiar. The most recent one, or the one that you're actually on top of right now, is the remains of several goblins that were recently toasted, and you're kind of like going in and out of consciousness here. Your eyes kind of close. Some time passes. You're not really sure how long, and you open your eyes again, and you can kind of hear these strange noises. You're not quite sure from where exactly. They seem maybe kind of off in the direction your feet are pointing. But you hear these kind of weird, kind of snuffling noises, and what kind of sound like the paws of some creature. But you can't really get a good look. You're trying, you're still kind of reeling a bit here. You're trying to get a look that direction, but you can't really get your eyes to focus quite right. But it seems that there's something else in here. You aren't able to get a good read on what exactly it is, but it looks to be some sort of creature, kind of either maybe eating or rifling through some corpse nearby in this room. And again, you kind of pass out and fade out again. And once again, some more time passes
that
here.
looks like
Oh, yeah, Mix, what were you saying?
Do I ever stay conscious enough to cast the spell?
This third time that your eyes kind of open again, you feel a little bit more stable. You feel stable enough to be awake. And here, let me put it on here. You currently have 1 hit point. And your eyes open, you're able to kind of focus on things, and you look over, and it's moved now, but you still see this creature, and it looks to be something that you've seen before. It's been a while since you've seen one of these, but it looks to be what you know to be an intellect devourer, and it seems to be chomping on some of these other corpses that are in this room. And like, do you like sit up at all, or are you staying prone as you're kind of?
No, I'm going to instantly cast gaseous form on myself to disappear.
Okay. All right. So you cast
But
gaseous form.
I can't do it while I'm
What?
unconscious.
Okay. Let me take a look
I
at
have 1 spell slot left. I'm using it.
that. All right.
Didn't you? How many spell slots do you have? I thought you had less than me. You have 2, right?
Yeah, but I thought they didn't count if they didn't hit, right?
Oh God, if only. Fuck.
Oh.
Wizards,
Never mind.
But I would never run out of spell slots then.
Warlocks, wet dream.
that would be awesome if that worked that way. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, they
Have
do.
you
They
all
do.
just-
They do still count as used, even if they miss. Yeah.
Have you always
Oh,
thought that?
I thought I read somewhere. No, I thought it was just warlocks.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm not a terrible teacher. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. So yeah. So in that case,
No,
you wouldn't be able to
I
do
read
gaseous
somewhere
form.
that it was warlocks.
So you wouldn't be able to do gaseous form since you don't have any spell slots left. Like, you feel pretty magically spent, along with physically spent from what just happened to you. But you are conscious, and you see this intellect devourer chomping on something else in here, and like as you're kind of looking around, you notice that the other bodies that are in here, some of them, like, you're pretty sure were dead. Like, some of these are people that you had killed in the ring earlier tonight. But they all seem to be on the edge of life, from what you can tell. Like, at least just like from your knowledge of like medicine and things like that. Like, they're all pretty out, but everybody in here is still at least slightly alive, including yourself.
Well, then Ooh. What's the DC on a mind devour?
Well, you wouldn't know that off the top of your head, but they are a tiny creature. Like, intellect devourers are not very large. Like, their size is tiny, because they
I'm
typically.
gonna pull
Those
out
the
my
brain puppies.
Yeah, these are the brain puppies.
yeah. I'm gonna pull out my blowgun and aim it and take a shot.
All right, let me drop a brain
And then
puppy here.
knock this thing out.
Let me drop a brain puppy in here so you can target it. Let me see here. All right, let me grab one of these. Okay, there's an intellect devourer in the combat tracker. Go ahead and target that with your blow dart, and we'll see how that goes.
Can you take the unconscious effect off of me?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can take that off. Let's see. Effects. Yep. There you go. Okay,
I don't know why
so
I rolled twice.
oh, it looks like you were still attacking Torta. So yes, that does strike the
Oh.
intellect devourer. And were you using one of your darts, your drow dart things?
Oh, they're all poison.
They're all
Yeah,
poison.
they're all
Okay,
poison.
they're all poison. Okay, cool. So
He has to
you
do a DC 7 or DC 13 Constitution saving throw.
DC
Or
13 con.
He's out.
Cool. Okay, let me roll that up here. All right. He is out. He failed that Constitution saving throw. So your little blow dart goes shooting across the room here, thunks into this intellect devourer, which let me hold on here. There you go.
Nick's just gonna look down at this and be like, "This is a handy little thing."
Right? Poison dart thing's working out pretty good for you. So, so yeah, you fired into this little, mostly brain creature, and it pretty quickly slumps over onto the ground. You hear kind of a little like petering out whimper, and it just kind of falls asleep on the ground here. And you find yourself in this pretty small room. Again, filled with
Do I
these.
see a way out?
You notice, and let me actually uncover on the map where you are here. Okay. All right, so Mix, you are. I just moved your token to. It's a little bit north of where the fight pit was at. So you notice this little room. There's a door to the east of you that looks to be like a pretty heavy door, and then to the north of you there is another door. This is kind of more of a kind of an old wooden door, and it's a jar. It's hanging slightly open. And beyond it, you can see that it seems to trail off into somewhat of a more natural-looking passageway. Assumedly, this is where the intellect devourer came up from.
Is there anywhere I can hide to take a short rest so I can gain some strength back, and then I'll explore in this area?
Well, I mean, like everything in here it's all just kind of conked out. So I mean, you could try splaying back out and playing dead, try to rest a little bit.
No, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna look for people that the devourer has already been, eaten.
Okay.
I'm gonna pile them on top of myself. I'm just gonna lay there and take a rest.
You're gonna smell so good.
Right.
It's okay. I change my clothes every day.
Mix has hygiene practices. He knows how to take care of these things. So, so yeah, you kind of rifle through some of these, and like again, like most of the bodies in here that are still, whole, like they still seem to be a lot. Like they still seem to be somewhat alive. Like you can like feel a pulse on some of them, but some of them do seem partially consumed. Whether it's by this intellect devourer or who knows what else. But you do manage to find enough to kind of pile over yourself to hide yourself a little better in like a corner, and manage to have a rather disgusting short rest.
Oh, yeah. So I have 2 hit die left. I'm gonna roll those.
Okay, go
If you
ahead.
could apply that to me, I also get my spell slots back.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So while this is all going on, the four of you out here in the ring, like you've gotten paid your goods. If you Mick, Boo, and Torta, if you didn't already, go ahead and just double whatever gold that you put into the pot in your inventories. You're all out here. The crowd's still been mulling around. At one point, Kelm comes, up to you, Boo, and Torta, says, "Well, that was quite a showing out there for your first time here at the Bloodshot Eye. Well done."
I'll bristle a little bit and like, thank you. And then let the arms go.
Okay.
Don't understand why anybody expected any different of me.
I do like to fight.
Well, your confidence certainly seemed to pay off in the ring, it seems.
When's the next setup? When are we doing this again?
Well, eager, are we? Well, we usually space them out a fair ways just to stay under the eye of the watch, if you understand. Typically, we only do these, once every 2 weeks or so. But, of course, if you're interested in returning later, you know the meeting point, you can certainly return there in the future.
Who's running this shit anyway?
Well, I can't really say much about my employers. I mean, we are an underground fighting ring after all. We can't really have too much information floating out around there. You understand,
Oh,
of
come
course.
on. I'm the champion.
You
We're
are
the champions.
You are the champions, yes, but you are still new, fresh. You won one night's fight, but that isn't really something I'm afraid we can trust you with at the moment.
What about some work? Do you got some work we can do to prove? I mean, you've seen how I kicked everybody's ass, and my friend just watched.
You see how he was so scared of me, he didn't even touch me. He pissed himself, and then I pissed on him, and he still didn't do anything. You ever see somebody so scared of someone that they can piss on them and they won't even attack? That's me. You can trust me. I'm the guy that pisses on people.
Don't piss on me. I don't want to have to beat you up.
And Kel kind of shakes his head and he's like, "Well, I'd admire your tenacity, but again, I'm afraid if you were interested in more participation in the future, we'd be, of course, glad to have you, and I'm certain there are many here who would love to put some more coin down on your chances again in the future. But for now, the fights are over for the night. I think we're going to, continue the after party, as it were, with the continued drinks as we usually do here. But after a time, we will need to close up, and we can certainly do this all again some other time."
All right. Well, so where's the body of that weak ass bitch I killed? What's his name? Well, I didn't even have to kill him. I just looked in his direction. He was so scared he let Torta kill him. And Torta's a frog or a grung. Anyway, where's the body? I need some stuff that he was carrying.
Well, I mean, the bodies of those defeated here, they are summarily disposed of. You needn't worry about what has transpired with the remains of them. They are taken care of out of the eye of the City Watch.
Well, I understand that, but you know what it's like to be stuck with someone for decades and hate them? Are you married?
No, I am afraid that I
That's
am
what
not.
it's like. I have some things I need to do to that corpse. And I'm very willing to pay the price for that corpse, and I'll pull my coin pouch. Like I'll unhook my coin pouch, and I'll say all of my winnings for tonight in exchange for the body of my enemy.
And Kellen kind of, leans back and crosses his arms and says, "Well, certainly eager to desecrate a little further than you did before, it seems. Goodness, you must have had."
Oh no, I want to bring him back. I would not desecrate him. I want to bring him back.
Oh, well, I don't know if that will be possible, I'm afraid. But if you need to go through his belongings and take something of yours off of whatever remains of him, then I guess that can be arranged. Come, follow me. And he takes the coin that you offered there, Boo, and he kind of begins heading off in the direction of those stairs to the north. Torta, Zara, Jinku, what are you doing? You see Boo, handing some coin over to this guy.
Going to the bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find any and all food because now that I'm done fighting, I'm gonna eat.
Okay. How about you, Zara? If you're still with us, I know you're really tired up there.
Zyara is drunk and she passed out from all the excitement.
She booed herself to
Put yourself
unconsciousness.
to death. All right. All right. So, Boo, Kellen leads you, back around the kind of back edge of the crowd, and takes you up to the northern side of the room, and he gets to the northeastern corner here, and there's kind of another kind of heavy door here. You see him take out a set of keys and unlock the door, and steps into the room beyond here. So in this first room, get out of mask mode. There you go. So you step into this room up here, and you see this kind of medium-sized chamber of sorts. It has a few kind of benches around the edge, and there seems to be um, kind of an altar of sorts in the middle of the room here. You see some kind of things you would expect to see for like offerings or prayer or something of that sort kind of strewn across this low table in the middle of the room. And at the very back of the room is a pretty heavy set iron door. Just solid, like no gaps, no bars in it. It's just solid iron. And Kellen walks over here and he says, he kind of turns to you like right before he goes to unlock it. And he says, "Well, I hope you're used to a bit of a gruesome sight."
You have no idea.
Kellen kind of smirks a bit and says, "Well, all right then." And he unlocks the door and kind of pulls it open for you. And you see beyond in this kind of small room here is just kind of like the floor is covered in bodies, um, parts of bodies. Some of them you recognize as recent contestants that had been beaten by you or others in the ring. But Kellen kind of motions for you to go in, and he says, "I'm afraid I'm going to need to shut the door behind you. You understand? Um, if you do need to come back out, uh, please knock several times, and I will let you back."
Okay. Can do.
All right. So, Boo, you move into this room. Kellen shuts the door behind you. You hear it lock again. and you are standing in this small room full of bodies. And you do also notice like that there's a wooden door to the north, ajar. Seems to be leading into like a natural cavern of sorts. What are you doing? At first glance, at least, you don't seem to see Mix's body.
Yeah, I start looking for X's body. Probably checking for anything useful, like on any of the other corpses, like pretty quickly as I'm like moving stuff around. I got no qualms with the dead.
Okay.
I ain't
Do I
gonna
hear
get weird
this?
with them, but I got no qualms with them.
Yeah, Mix, you've been kind of resting under this pile of bodies. You moved on top of yourself in the corner, and you heard kind of muffled through the iron door the speech outside, and then saw the door open and Boo step in, and then the door be shut back behind him again. And you see Boo kind of poking around. You can kind of see through some of like the gaps between some limbs. That Boo's just kind of looking around at the various corpses in here, seeing what he can find.
Mix is going to push the bodies off of himself, stand up, and look at me and be like, "You didn't win."
All right.
Sunday, I'm gonna use your soul to ascend to lichdom, and that's a promise. Remember the word on your head. Come on, take a hold of this rope, idiot.
So Mix, at this point,
Mix
you
is
you
gonna
you
refuse.
did you don't know, you don't actually know what's on your head. I mean, you probably have noticed that among all of the rest of the pain that you had, that there was some kind of strange, sharp, like kind of pinpricky type pains across your forehead. But Boo mentions this, like to not forget the word on your forehead, and you kind of
I'm gonna look for a shiny sword or something to look at my forehead.
okay. You kind of look around a bit. There's not a whole lot in here in the way of equipment. It seems like most of like the valuable stuff, maybe those other guards kind of strip off some of the bodies as they throw them in here. But you do
Well, I take
manage.
pleasure in using prestidigitation to like polish a dagger and let him look at it.
Okay. So Boo hands you this dagger, and Mix, you see reflected. Um, it's backwards in the mirror, but you're able to make out the word "coward" has been kind of roughly scrawled across your forehead in black ink.
Mix is gonna laugh right in Boo's face. Be like, "Come on! I faced the most powerful of our party, Torte, and the weakest of our party, you, in the ring by myself. I'm no coward. I'll get this removed at a temple. No worries."
You faced one of us, but I suppose if you refuse to admit who is the better, I'm ready to leave now. You can let me out. I'm done searching my compatriot's corpse.
Okay.
Now I could cast invisibility on you, coward. I could help you out here, should you need it.
Mix is just gonna cast gaseous form and float up to the ceiling.
Okay. So like as you like
He's not in
go.
the mood for help from any of the party right now.
Okay. So as as Mix, you go into your gaseous form, and Boo, you're kind of calling out to across the door here. You hear behind you some kind of scuttling noises coming up. You hear them kind of echoing through that passageway beyond the door, and they seem to be getting a little bit louder. And you hear Kellen coming over. He turns the key in the lock, starts to open the door, and you see coming out from the passageway here several decently large rats But you notice they're a little different than usual. And the unusual thing you notice about them is that the tops of their heads seem to have a strange glow around them, and also that you can seem to see their brain through this strange glow on the top of their heads. There seem to be about 4 or 5 of them that come kind of scrabbling through the door here. You see them kind of make their way towards the nearest corpse to the door and kind of start ravenously going after it. And Kellen on the other side, he's opening the door, sees you standing there, and then sees these creatures behind you going after this corpse, and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, friend," and slams the door in your face. Boo.
Okay, I'll Misty step through it. It's a fucking door. I'm a wizard. This is not an issue for me.
All right. All right, so you Misty step through the door and pop out on the other side. Much to Kellen's surprise, like you see him kind of standing there as you appear on the other side, and he seems kind of shocked and says, "Well, probably for the best that you were able to get out of there. We can't have those things running loose in the club. You understand? I'm sorry."
You were leaving your
Am I-
reigning champion here to die? I mean, not that rats would have done anything but made dinner, but your mother would be disappointed in you.
am I
Well, friend, I am
invisible?
certain that there are many
Yeah.
other things that my mother would have been disappointed in me before this point. What were we saying, Mix?
I'm just checking gaseous form because I know I can go through the door, no problem.
I'd assume so.
Okay, it's not an invisibility spell. It's you're a cloud.
Yeah, if you're just like a cloud of air, then yeah, I'd assume you'd be able to get through there. I don't see why not.
Well, I'm gonna go up and search this cavern then.
Okay.
I'm just gonna float up there and search.
Sure. Let's see how long. See, it lasts. Oh, lasts an hour. Okay, sure. All right. So, Mix, you head up in your floaty cloud form through the door to the north, above this strange little group of rat-like creatures below you that are kind of ravenously feasting on the nearest corpse to the door. And beyond in the passageway here, you see this seems to kind of wind off a ways. It seems to be kind of either a more natural cavern or, maybe at least partially uh, dug out, but it's not like finished with stone or anything. It's pretty rough. And after a ways, so you see this kind of trail off a ways, and eventually you find yourself in what appears Alrighty. So, Boo, you just Missy stepped out of the room here, and Kel was kind of mentioning to you a bit that they didn't want to let those things run loose or get loose into the club. But eventually he's kind of motioning to you to kind of make your way back out to the main room proper, and starts kind of heading that way towards the other door.
I will walk out, head out towards like the rest of the party. As I'm doing so, I'm quite aware of this cloud with the intelligence level of a cloud hovering in the room, and I make sure to say, if you ever feel like you could actually win, understand that the offer stands for you and me to go toe to toe anytime with both of my hands bound. And then I leave.
Okay. Next, do you stay in
Next is
here
gonna
in your cloud
follow,
form or follow?
and
Okay.
well, I'm debating whether I want to search this room or not.
Okay.
But I'm gonna follow.
Okay. All right. So make sure you make your way out. You're continuing to kind of stay up on the ceiling, out of really sight of anybody. It's difficult for them to notice you as a cloud. But you find yourself back in this main room here. Boo, you kind of rejoin the rest of the party here. What are y'all doing here? Do you relay to them anything that you found out back there, or saw, or what?
Yeah, I point to the other ones from across the room, and I just say, cranium rats appeared back there. What do I know about cranium rats? Sorry, I shouldn't have just assumed that Boo knows their name, but
That's true. Let's see. Roll a.
I mean, I have a 20 intelligence, so I fucking assume I know everything's name.
Yeah, I assume you probably know what they are. That they are cranium rats, and you would at least know that typically their existence is associated or at least related to mind flayer activity.
Okay, that's what I didn't want to assume that I knew. Sometimes it's hard because I have a 20 intelligence and Boo has a 20 intelligence, and it's hard to separate whose intelligence is whose. So I'll point at Zyara and Torta and Jinku and use message to let them know that cranium rats appeared to be in the back where they're putting the bodies, and that's an obvious sign of mind flayer activity.
Yeah, and I guess I did forget to mention this as well. But like you would have seen that passed out intellect devourer that Mix had knocked out with the dart in there.
Okay, I didn't want to assume that because I wasn't there when he did that, so I didn't want
Yeah, that would have still been conked out on the ground. So
as well as a brain puppy. Saw one of those things too.
Mix is gonna mind link with Jinka. You betrayed me. And he's gonna get really sad, go some voice just to freak her out a little bit.
And betray you. Mix, I never had any loyalty to you.
Ow. I see.
Oof.
My loyalty in this instance was with Boo.
I see.
At the end of the day, I owe my life to Boo. I wouldn't be here with this group without Boo.
I see. And Fixer's just gonna float around, and he's gonna just explore this whole place, floating around on the ceiling.
Sure. So, Boo, you're kind of relaying this information to the rest of the party about noticing some suspicious activity related to mind flayers here. And Mick, you're exploring around as a cloud. And the eastern side of this place that you haven't checked out yet seems to be a couple of what look like, maybe almost meeting rooms of sorts, or maybe dining rooms, or something like more private rooms than just out among the usual crowd. But there's two kind of main rooms here with kind of longer tables and chairs around them. One of them seems to have like some recent partially eaten plates and things. It seems like maybe there was like a group that was here tonight that was like using one of these rooms. And then the other room to the south seems to be somewhat of a storage room of sorts. You see a variety of kind of shelves and kind of a longer table in the middle of the room. And on these you see various there's various weapons. There's some crates in here that seem to have some food. Like you see some open barrels with some of the food that was being used tonight. Those seems to be just kind of a general storage room for a variety of things. You notice some of the weapons that are in here, that are at least the ones that are on like the table in the middle of the room, are some of the ones you recognize from people you had fought against earlier this evening. So it seems like whatever the guards strip off or decide to strip off some of the bodies they chuck back there. Seems like they just take whatever they find and throw it in here.
Is there anything valuable?
I mean, aside from just like the general value of like the weapons themselves, like they don't seem to be anything particularly out of the ordinary. I mean, they're just kind of some regular swords and daggers and things like that. You do manage to find a pouch that contains 37 silver in it. That's kind of it's kind of sitting on one of the shelves in here. But you wouldn't really be able to take that as a cloud, I would assume. But you do notice that there. But otherwise, they just seem to be kind of regular old weapons and stuff. There isn't really much too valuable or worth carrying valuable in there that you can find.
Did who send message to Tode? Or was it just to the other two?
It was to the three of you.
Okay.
You see Tode with the stone again because he's not for sure still how this stuff works. And he just says smash, and then you see the tip of his frog-like snout make a question mark in the air and send it back. He's not flexing as hard this time, not like last time. There's a few less veins sticking out. But he's not screaming.
Like one of the other patrons is at the bar here with you. He kind of sees you seemingly loudly say to nothing, smash, and he kind of reaches over and like kind of slaps you on the back and says like, yes, you certainly did, and you won me a lot of gold for it, friend.
I'll punch you right back.
Like
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the stone.
like in the face or just like on the shoulder or something?
Shoulder, just like buddy punch. You know,
Okay,
like,
okay.
I can see him like punches some random guy in the face. Wasn't talking to you.
Boom. So, yeah, you kind of punch, and this guy seems pretty tipsy, but he kind of like chuckles. He kind of lets out like kind of a belly laugh as you punch him back. He says, "Well, I hope to see you again, friend, for the sake of my pocketbook." And he kind of stumbles away from the bar carrying his drink there.
I was only 3%, buddy. You're lucky.
All right, so Boo, you got this this reply back from Torta here of smash.
With a sigh, using message so that he hears the sigh. I'll then say, no, not for now. I don't think we're quite ready to smash anything yet. Order me a drink. I'll come over there in a moment.
Okay. All right, Mix. Is there anywhere else that you're wanting to poke around in here that you hadn't already? I guess the only way that you haven't been
No.
there's a hallway to the northwest if you did want to go that way.
Oh yeah, I'm going up there. I'm just gonna float around for the entire time the spell's working.
Okay.
Being a nosy bastard.
All right. Nosy bastard
So-
you shall.
Torto's pretty new to alcohol, so he has the bartender mix up one of those milk concoctions that we were going to give Tiger Hands. That we were going to poison him or sleep dote him with.
I am gonna wait for Torche to lift his cup to his mouth and then mind link and scream, "Don't think this is over!" Just to freak the fuck out of him.
Okay.
I'm not drinking. It's Bo that I got the drink for.
Oh shit! All
Sorry.
right. Well, Boo,
You said order you a drink. I don't know
did.
alcohol.
Boo will drink. Boo will try and drink this nasty thing.
Imagine Jinku like went and got food and like just got like absolutely everything they had to offer. So she's got like all this food in front of her, and she probably like offers some to Torta.
Absolutely.
All right. So you guys are chowing down, and like Mix, you float up to the northwest here, and this hallway you guys you had been through before. This is the hallway you had all come in through to get down here, and like at the back of the hall, um, at the north end of this hall, there is a kind of a secret door. You can see it pretty easily from this side, but like when you guys had come down here from the estate. You'd gone down, quite a few stairs and ended up at the bottom in, some kind of a cellar. And in the back corner of that cellar, there was kind of a secret door in the wall that they had opened up and let you all through. And to the left of you there, Mix, there's kind of almost kind of like a check-in desk of sorts. Like there's nobody sitting there, but like across the length of that is kind of a maybe 4 foot high desk of sorts. It seems like they kind of keep track of like some of like the fighters or paperwork or whatever here. But otherwise, like you come up against that kind of thick stone secret door there, and that's the kind of the end of that where that
Oh,
hallway
is there the
ends.
slightest crack in it?
Yeah, there probably is for if you're made out of gas, you can. And if you pop out the other side, you find yourself in just kind of the cellar of that estate that you were in earlier in the night. In here is just kind of general cellar type storage you would expect. Large barrels on the south, some sort of alcohol, things like that, other foodstuffs, things like that, various crates. And then the stairs lead upwards towards the kind of the main level, the street level of the estate after a ways. But it was a decent ways down to get to where you guys were down the stairs.
I'm gonna gaseously float around here looking for anything that we could use in our inn, like a super valuable bottle of alcohol or something. If I don't find anything, I'm just gonna float up to the estate.
Okay. I'd say like probably in some of the storage here, like you'd probably find like a few decent bottles of like some finely aged wine that you recognize to be from some particularly good years, um, and maybe a bottle or two of some uh, finer like harder liquors. But the main part of the storage is these large casks that seem to be more of your general lower end of the quality side. But there are a few nicer ones stored around here. But if you do float up the stairs, like they go up for quite a ways, kind of winding around, and eventually you find yourself back up in the main floor of the estate, which is where there was like kind of a large dining room table that's still kind of strewn with kind of the pre-show uh, feasting that was going on up here. Still a bit of a mess, but otherwise it seems like a fairly normal, upper class Waterdeep estate. You can kind of see through the windows. It's the middle of the night outside, and there doesn't really seem to be anybody up here actively that you are seeing so far.
Ooh, he's gonna float around the whole estate. Like, just imagine, we'll mind play. You don't have to pull up the map. He's gonna float around the whole estate. If he finds something valuable, he's gonna come out of gaseous form, steal it, go back in, and go straight back to Joel Skull.
Okay. Well, let me see here. Let me take a look. Let's see, some things of interest that you find around. This one you just kind of notice. There isn't really much you can do about this one, but you see a very large tapestry on one of the kind of main walls on the main floor. It's pretty huge, like a good like 14 foot by 14 foot square of heavy tapestry carpet material.
So,
And the design,
what, 50 pounds?
for that large of a tapestry, that probably weighs over 100 pounds, if not more. Like if it's like thick tapestry carpet, those can get pretty heavy. Like if you think of like a rolled up carpet, and this is like a 14 foot by 14 foot thick carpet, it's not light at all. And it's currently like fastened pretty securely.
Form. He's gonna pout, thinking how great that would look in his basement.
Yeah, in terms of what's on it, in terms of design, like the design on this tapestry seems to depict a very stylized looking pattern of a beholder. And there seem to be below it like various humanoid figures of different races, also quite stylized, that seem to be kind of bowing in obeisance to it. It's all very well done, and it seems to be quite like pretty old too, like almost kind of a museum piece almost, from how old it looks to you. Other things you notice around, you notice one of the bed chambers that you go into. Let's see here. You actually notice a few bed chambers, and like one of the bed chambers that you go into almost seems to be done up like kind of a miniature or a very small clinic of sorts almost. Like there's a few beds in here, and the beds have like some draperies between them, kind of separating them. And you see like on some of the tables around, there's various medical instruments, and like with your knowledge of like alchemy and stuff, you can see like some of the jars of things and containers that are around, or various ingredients that you recognize to be used in like medical usages. It seems to you that this is coming here, you guys knew that this place was in league with the Xanathar Guild, or connected to them in some way. And given that you know that, it seems like this might be some kind of place for people in the guild who need it, to come and get like assistance, under the radar, as it were, without having to go to like a more public medical facility for whatever it is they got themselves into.
Boo's gonna stop you there. That's the room he wants. He's gonna steal everything he can carry. He can carry
Okay.
32 more pounds of stuff.
Okay.
So I mean, he's the medical equipment, all the alchemy stuff, everything in that room. He's going to shove in his bag, and then he's just going to gaseous form straight out the place and fly all the way to Joel's skull, down to his basement, and reform.
Okay. Well, I don't have a list right offhand of what all would be in there. But yeah, well, you can grab whatever various powders and ingredients and things that are in there, and make off with a pretty good haul of it, and make your way out of here with those. The rest of you down here, Boo, you've let everybody know about the cranium rat and brain puppy issue. What are you all doing about this? Like Boo, you've lost track of where Mix went. Like you were trying to keep an eye on him out of the corner of your eye.
No. Boo does not care.
Boo does not care.
Boo-
Okay.
He does not keep track of Mix at all.
Okay. Boo
I'm
doesn't
more
give a
than
shit.
hoping he dies. Yes, there you go. Boo is forced to care if he sees Mix.
Okay.
Is how that works.
All right. Well, last you saw Mix was when you were leaving that room to the north, and you haven't seen anything of him since, nor do you give a fuck. And
Good.
you're hanging out with the rest of the crew here, and giving them the information about the suspicious activity to the north. What are y'all planning to do here? Things seem to be kind of on the getting to the windy down edge of the festivities here for the night. You know, people are starting to leave, make their way out.
Well, I think, guys, that we have the information that we came here for. Should we need more, we might be better suited to coming here when it's got less people. Jinku, Toro, would you agree?
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, let's collect Zyara here.
I'll go pick up the drunk, passed out Zayara and carry her home.
Make sure she's on her side or laying forward.
All right. So you guys do manage to make it up out of this place with your pockets a little bit heavier than they were when you came in. Made some good coin tonight with all this, and you find yourself back on the streets of Waterdeep outside the front of the Taras estate. You guys just make your way back to Troll School.
Sounds like the best idea.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you guys make your way back home. You get there. The door in is unlocked, and you go in. You find that Mix has arrived before you all. He's down in his basement doing God knows what with alchemy. And but yeah, I guess the rest of you wouldn't have known that he was still alive. That's true. So I guess Jinku Torta, like you come in, and Mix is here, still kind of sorting through a pile of various jars and vials and implements that are kind of dumped onto like a central table. He's kind of sorting through these. I guess what is Jinku Torta? What is your reaction coming in here?
Well, Jinku's not surprised because Mix said something to her back there because he said that I betrayed him, and I said that I had no loyalty to him.
No,
So I guess Torta's the only one who didn't know.
Well, I guess he did. He did say it in your mind.
Yeah, I was in gaseous form. I was haunting everybody.
Yeah, you never actually saw him. You just heard a voice in your head. So I guess
I'm still not surprised.
Okay.
Nothing surprises me with this group anymore.
Or how about you, Torta? You come in, you see, Mix is here already. You beat the fucking tar out of him a little earlier tonight.
Fucking tar. I watched Torta beat Mix to death. He was
I just
great.
look at him and smile. We know who's top dog.
Woof.
Woof. All right. Well, you do all manage.
Mix is gonna pull out a
Oh yeah.
his arcane bomb and start bouncing it between his hands and smiling at Torta. You have no idea what I could have done to you. I was waiting for Boo to attack.
I'll pop the arms out again and say, "You want to try?" I was pulling punches.
Mix is very tempted to try a blowtorch shot at Torte right now and just knock him out.
Torta, as you like pull out your arms here and you're kind of talking about fighting, you see Squiddly come in from one of the side rooms here and like sees you with your arms out, and he's like, "Whoa! Were you fighting with those? That's so cool!"
Yeah, I can fight with these, and I'll flex.
Squiddly seems pretty enraptured at this. It's like these like arms that you have, like, do they like? I mean, obviously you punch things with them, but like, do they have like a physical form, or are they just kind of like magic arms?
Imagine celestial arms, like angel wings, but in the shape of arms instead.
Okay, like I guess what I'm
They
saying.
are celestial powered.
I guess what I'm saying is a Squidly came over and tried to like feel up your celestial arms biceps. Like, would there be things to feel?
No, because it's only corporeal when he's punching.
Okay, so they're just kind of cool looking floaty arms. Okay, so yeah, so Squidly comes over and he's like trying to like size up, one of these arms of yours, and his hand just kind of like goes right through it, and he's like, "Whoa, where did you get those? Can I do that?"
I'll tap him with one. I'll just tap him like real lightly, so he knows that they're real. Or kind of like ruffle his hair, and I don't want to it portrayed that I hit the kid. I just want to kind of ruffle his hair with it.
Oh
don't
no!
want
It was,
everybody else
it was
turning
a
on me.
critical, like critical hair ruffle. So, yeah, Squidly
His
is.
hair's forever messy.
Oh no! This is why you don't make those faces. So, yes, Squidly is just absolutely impressed by this. He thinks these are the coolest thing he's ever seen. And like he is like you can tell his little kid mind is just absolutely blown by these these kind of magical celestial arms that you've got. But you do eventually all of you get to bed, and as you're kind of resting tonight, let me give everybody a rest. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Rest. Goodness, you need it. There you go. So you all take a rest, and Boo, again, you have another weird night here in your room. And, again, you have these strange dreams where you feel like some large, kind of ununderstandable presence is looming over you. And at one point during it, like, previously when you've had these dreams, you just kind of felt this presence there. Like there was never anything else that like really happened. It just there was something there that you could sense. But this time, while it is most of the dream, at one point you manage to make out the words, and they're in this like very, very low, almost kind of ethereal voice. You make out, "Hear me," and you wake up.
I'll sigh and I will say, "Well, I'm listening. What do you want?"
So you kind of you're sitting there in the darkness in your bed, kind of trying to see if anything happens, and after a little bit, you feel that kind of looming presence of sorts here in your room. And at least from what you can tell, it seems to come from the direction of wherever it was in your room that you had put the stone that you had gotten from uh, the Gralhund Manor. I don't remember where you put that in your room. But that's where you seem to feel that coming from.
Okay. I imagine my room's just a fucking mess. Like the only organized place on my room that is clean is the outside of the door for personal reasons. The rest is like, scrolls and books and shit. So I'll dig around until I kind of find this stone that I
Okay.
took.
Yep. Okay. So you're turning this stone over in your hands, and you're kind of looking over it, and you can still you feel that kind of strange presence, a little stronger now. And like you're looking over it, and here, let me get the picture up of that thing again for you. There you go. So the main difference between what you have in your hands right now and what that image looks like is the three black orbs. Those aren't there. Those are empty sockets in this stone. But otherwise, it looks like that. And you're kind of like turning this over in your hands, kind of looking, kind of staring at it, trying to figure out what it is. And you kind of notice as you're turning it over and kind of examining these like sockets, like it almost looks to you like these should be like eyes, like actual eyes. Like actual eyes should be there. Like perhaps this was part of something at some point. You're not really sure what. Like you're kind of searching through your mind to try to see if you recollect ever seeing anything like this, and you can't seem to come up with anything. But like, especially like as you're kind of like looking at this a little closer now, like the form of it seems a little more organic than you noticed at like first glance. Like it doesn't seem to be like an actual rock. Like it's as hard as one, perhaps due to time, but at some point this was something else.
I'll dig through my things, one of which is a gazer eye stalk, and I'll dig the eyeball out of it and try and poke it into one of these empty holes and see if anything happens.
Okay. So you try, jamming this gazer eye into one of the holes here, and it doesn't really seem to fit quite right. It seems far too small. Like you're able to kind of get it, you're able to get it into a socket, no problem, but it very loosely kind of like rolls around in there. Like it's nowhere near the correct proportions.
Well, I'm listening. I'm supposed to hear you. What do you want? Does it taste weird? I'll lick it.
All right. You lick the stone, and it doesn't seem to really have much of a flavor. Like most of the flavor that you really get off of it is maybe like the flavor of a pocket, because it was probably in one at some point. Um, so maybe lingering bits of dirt and lint and that sort of thing. But it doesn't really seem to have much of its own flavor that you can tell.
Hmm.
And
Okay. Well, I'll put it like in my pocket. Like,
okay. Let
I'm
me
start carrying this around.
here.
with me.
Let me take a look real quick and hold on. I feel like I have some information here on this for you, but let me find where the heck that went when I move this over to Unity. 1 second here. Okay. So, as you've been kind of examining this stone and notice, like the three sockets here that seem to be missing things, you aren't able to get much out of it trying to, communicate with it, try to do what you can with it. But you do get the impression that what is missing needs to be returned if you're going to be able to get anything useful out of this.
So I need to find some eyeballs.
Yes, and you do recall, as you've been sitting, you're staring at this thing, racking your brain, looking through your notes, seeing what you have, and like you do notice a few times, like in various notes that you have, of the shenanigans you guys have gotten up to. A few of the times that you've run into some of the other groups going on in Waterdeep, um, mention of of an eye of some kind keeps coming up. Like you keep seeing references to like an eye, or they were after an eye, or somebody has an eye, or things like that.
Ah, yes, Lord Neverember. He would know. That's
Yeah.
right.
So like that seems to be like the only thing that you're able to like really concretely piece together is like all of these these encounters, like this stuff with the Zentrum, stuff with the Xanathars, stuff talking to Raynar about his dad, like stuff about eyes keeps coming up, and then you have this thing in your hand here that seems to be missing these eyes that everybody seems to be after.
Just to be sure, I'll carve out my familiar's eyes and see if those fit in there.
I mean, again, with these, kind of similar to the gazer eyes. Like, do they go in the sockets? Sure. Do they proportionally fit in the sockets? No.
Okay, I kill it and then summon another one.
All right.
You laugh, but like I'm not even surprised you did that.
True. That's fair. But morning comes, and you did manage to get some rest, but you feel like you've gotten some inklings about this strange stone that everybody seems to be after. Like, there seems to be so much that's tied up with whatever this is.
I'll tell Torta and Zyara and Jinku about just the stone, not any of the dreams or it talking to me or anything. But I will explain that it seems to need some sort of eyes in it to make it work. And if I remember right, from what we've found, like we need, seems like this might be what we need to get into one of these vault things that they've been talking about. Would either of you be willing to let me test one of your eyes in here? We can go to the clerics and get your eye back afterwards. And I don't have a knife, so like I have a manticore barb. Oh, I do have a knife, but I'd rather use a manticore barb for this.
Jeez. Oh, wow.
The sad thing is, Jinku's really considering volunteering.
All right.
Like
Torta hops
she
up.
has not verbalized that, but in her
Torta
mind,
hops
she's
up.
like, maybe.
Torta just hops up. He's like, let's do it.
Okay, this is gonna hurt, and you're not gonna hit me, are you?
Nah.
Okay, so
Well,
we'll try
maybe.
this. If it doesn't work, we'll go to the clerics afterwards. I don't know if Zyara can help us here or not. Zyara, can you help us like regrow an eyeball? If I cut
She
this eyeball out?
she is like extremely hungover, I'm sure.
I mean, at least,
Is Mix aware of this conversation?
I mean, at this point, you're probably, if you're, laying Torta down and try to scoop out an eyeball, you're probably on it. You're either on like a table down in the bar, or you're in like the main table upstairs in your kind of quarters area.
I
Yeah, I
kind
wouldn't
of
do it
think
in the bar. I'd do this in like, in my room.
I feel like Zyara would not support this.
I don't think she would either. But I mean, in
If
terms,
I
somebody
mean, we could go outside the temple and do it if you want.
Mix is gonna walk up with all these new medical tools to give to Zyara.
Well, 1 second. Did
And
you walk
he's-
up and like cross into my room?
No, I'm gonna wherever the hell y'all were talking. I'm just walking.
We're in my
over
room.
and look for Zyara.
Yeah, we're in my room. He's on my table where I do sacrifices and
okay.
weird
Well, I mean,
sex stuff.
Mix, you like you come out in the main room and you see like the rest. You can see like Jinku over there and Zara over there. They're kind of like looking into looking into Boo's room, and you kind of hear some sort of conversation about eyeballs being removed and some enthusiastic yes from Torta. That you can't. That's who's out of sight in Boo's room. But you do kind of walk up on.
Mix is gonna laugh because he has the medical tools to make this almost painless. But he's just gonna go back down in his basement and throw him in a corner, and then start walking off to replace his shoes and clothing and get this stupid thing removed from his forehead.
Torta, if it hurts, squeeze my hand.
You have to come in.
I am in.
Oh, I thought you said you were standing outside the room looking in.
Well, you can move wherever the heck you want. It's not a map. And
Come in and hold him down, Jiku. I'm cutting his eye out.
Okay.
Do the right one, because my left one is the really good one.
Okay. Here, bite down on this. And I give him another manticore barb to bite down on.
This took like an immediate left turn.
And I get it out and I put it in and I see if like anything happens. I mean, because I figure a grown guy is going to be kind of bigger than a gazer eyeball or anything. It might fit a little better, so I put it in there and see if it fits.
Okay, well, Boo, roll me a medicine check for this. Like, we'll see how well you perform this impromptu
This
medical
might be ugly.
procedure. Oof. It's a bit rough. But you do manage to get this out of there, Torta, this roll a Constitution save for me, Torta. Ooh, damn! Torta takes it like a boss. Like Boo,
He's
like
Wow.
smiling. He likes it. He doesn't mind.
like Boo,
Pain is his
you're getting
pleasure.
in there with this Manicore barb, and it's a little bit awkward trying to do, a fine medical procedure such as removing an eyeball intact with an implement like this. But you do manage to get it out. A little worse for wear. Jinku, you've been watching this as you're holding Torta down, and like you're kind of shocked at how little Torta seemed to react or resist this. Like watching it happen, like watching Boo do this, like you were a little, like you could feel your stomach turn a bit. You were like, oh, that's gotta, man, that's gotta be a little, that's gotta be a little something.
Damn, Torta, you're one tough son of a bitch.
You notice he's almost like it's like an ecstasy smile. He's just like so happy. He doesn't mind pain.
Damn.
Hold
Alright,
me a little tighter.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, you do manage to get this eyeball out, and you get into the socket here, and like it fits a little better. Like it seems a little, like it seems about right. But there doesn't seem to be any reaction at all. No, response. No sort of event or anything. And you kind of begin to come to the conclusion that perhaps the eyes that it needs are the eyes that belong to it, and not just any old eyes.
I was gonna get Jinku to do it too.
Jinku was totally gonna do it for you.
I guess I'm probably intelligent enough that you're right. Okay. Zyara, it appears that I have cut Torta's eye out for an experiment that did not quite work. Like I'm while I'm saying this, like I'm pocketing Torta's eye. And then
No, I want my eye back. Give it back.
hold on, I'm gonna get it back. This one we need. Oh, just wait. Zara, can you grow this eyeball back? Or do I need to go find like healer clerics?
Hold on. I'm gonna. You notice. I mean, considering
While
how
you're looking
You
that
know
up,
she's pissed.
I don't
Nix
know
is
why it
walking
rolled.
around to get new clothes and get the coward removed from his forehead, laughing his ass off because he has less for restoration, which can restore blindness.
Blindness, but not missing eyeballs.
I mean,
Big difference.
considering how like most healing in D&D, like you get beat up pretty bad in fights and people cast healing and like, wow, you're healed. Like I would assume that like a wound like this, along with any other kind of general wounds you'd have in battle, like a healing spell could probably fix. Magic. How
Boo,
does it
I
work?
need you to make my eye look at me.
I'll pull it out of the pocket and I'll put it like on my nose of my mask and I'll look at him.
First time seeing myself. Literally.
What do you think?
I am sexy as fuck.
Well, I don't know if I go that far.
He bristles. He's all excited.
I mean, you can't really see anything through the eye, but
He thinks he can.
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's all that matters.
But we do manage to heal you up with this. I would assume that some sort of healing spell from this would be able to correct these kind of issues in a society full of magic healing and bullshit such as that.
Well, and if it came from Zyara, it was a heal plus a lecture.
We gotta have some like cool scarring left.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure he probably messed up your eye socket.
yeah,
pretty
I mean,
good.
considering the roughness of the medical procedure with the manticore barb, yeah, I'd say there's probably definitely a nice kind of cool guy scar on, you know, coming out from, like, most of the scar is like behind your eye. Um, yeah, as this manticore barb probably kind of scraped along the back of the socket here, but out the top and out the bottom, like kind of coming out the edges of your eye. You got like a kind of a cool guy scar across one of your eyes.
Right on. You got your tear, prison tear. I got my wound scar. We are the businessmen for real.
Oh my lord.
He's almost hopping. Like normally you see him walk, it's normal, but like he's hopping right now, frog hopping.
We are the businessmen.
Oh man. That was certainly something. All right. So, you know, this is all going on. Mix, I know you said you were out doing rounds trying to find a way to get that removed from your head. I mean, I would assume there's probably spells for that too. They probably got tattoo removal services.
Greater Restoration would do that, so I didn't need to go see the high-level clerics. But first, I'm getting new shoes and new clothes.
Yeah, right.
These freaking stink.
Yeah, especially after your fight and after your foray into a nice, comfy corpse sleeping bag. You definitely need it. That is for sure.
I'm assuming the clothes would cost 1 gold.
Yeah, we'll say something like that. Why not?
Because Mix only wears the finest of clothes.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, say 1 gold for the sake of ease. Why not? All right.
Don't know what a greater restoration on my forehead would cost though.
Let's see. Greater restoration at a temple. Oh, hold on. I guess I can probably stop the Fight Club punching in the background on Sirenscape. Unless Tortoise just punching people, maybe. I don't know.
After seeing the interaction between Torta and the kid last night, I take Torta aside, and I say, hey, we don't talk about him very much, but we did have a companion here before you showed up that he did some bad things, and he ended up going to jail for, well, you know what happened down in the trade ward a while ago. That was him. Anyway, he was working on training these kids, and I assume that's probably why they showed a little interest in you, in your fighting ability. Now this is completely up to you, friend, but you know these kids have kind of led a little bit of a rough life, and we're taking them under our wing and teaching them what we can, and they could probably do with a little bit of martial training. This isn't something I'm able to give, you know, what with the fact that, well, I don't need to learn how to actually fight. But maybe it's something that you might do if you're inclined, my little grung friend.
Yeah, we'll get a mixed punching bag and we'll teach him how to do it.
Ah, good idea. Let's do that. I'll excitedly go to my room and start getting like supplies to make a punching bag that looks like Mix.
For greater restoration mix, at least you want to finding just for general cost of spells at temples and things. Greater restoration looks to be 450 gold.
Really?
Yep.
Is there any other spell that can remove this from my forehead?
Let's see. Let me look up healing spells. 5e. Let's see here.
You could just wear a
It's
floppy
less
hat
of
that covers
restoration
your
than-
forehead.
Oh no, Nick refuses.
Co-
Then his
comb the hair forward.
glorious locks would not be in view.
Hide it under the
He
locks.
has to have his hair done a certain way. I mean, if lesser restoration will do it, I can do it on myself, but it's blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. That affects.
Yeah, that
Does Mix have money left after betting on himself and losing? It was like 600, 650 gold.
that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, yeah, at least from what for this, since we had taken that out. Yeah, it probably would be greater restoration since it isn't really like a status effect that you're under. Like you're not, poisoned or paralyzed or blinded or whatever the heck. Like it's a physical.
So 450, huh?
Yep. For greater restoration at pretty much any cleric temple is going to be around that amount.
Mix is mad now. First thing he's going to do is find a way to turn water into acid for Torte. He's going to find how to turn a bed into a bed of 1,000 needles for Boo. And Jinku, he hasn't figured out yet.
Just remember, I'm a lot bigger than you.
Well, for now, it sounds like you're going to have to do a Harry Potter and comb your hair over the scar.
Oh no, I'm paying for the greater restoration. I already took it out of my gold.
Oh, hey, I didn't realize you still had enough for that.
Oh, I had 1,000 gold left.
Oh, okay. Well,
I had
okay.
1,675 at the beginning of the session. I bet it's 675.
Okay, yeah, then you would still have enough left because you guys still, you guys have had gold coming in from the tavern and stuff that added to that over time. Okay, so you are able to get that at great expense from your own pocket. Understandably pissed at that. But you do, make it back with your new clothes and your new get up and all that back to the tavern. While you guys are there, like Torta or not Torta, Mix, you are making your way back to Troll Skull after doing your errands that you were working on. And as you're coming up the kind of street to the north of you, you kind of come up on Mert, who's also walking along the street there, seemingly heading towards your direction. But he sees you coming up here with your new clothes on and things, and says, "Ah, Mix, it is good to see you. You're looking well today."
Next kind of like Smart. He's going to be like, hey, Mert, what can I do for you?
Well, I was actually just heading over to Troll Skull to see if you'd been able to find any other information about the Mind Flayer issue that we had going on. Were you able to, get a location or, maybe even take the bastard out?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't kill it. I was only able to knock it out for an hour. I'm sorry, I was in bad shape. I had to escape. But I know where it is. Do you know where I can find maps of the old sewer tunnels? I found where they're going down into under the Xanathar's gladiatorial ring.
Goodness, you knocked out a whole Mind Flayer? I didn't think that was really easily possible. For reference,
Well,
you knocked out an
Devourer.
intellect devourer. Okay, I was just making sure.
I'll be like, I knocked out an intellect devourer, but I think they're coming from the old sewers under the Xanathar's Guild, but I need to know how to get in there without going through where they do their gladiatorial fights. Do you know where I can find maps?
Well, if you're looking for maps of the sewers, going down to the city offices, they'd certainly have maps of those. I mean, if you're looking for some of the older systems that are maybe a little deeper or unused, I mean, they probably still have record of them somewhere. you might have to dig a bit, or at least have the workers there down at the city offices dig a bit for them for you. But certainly I would expect we have them recorded somewhere. Surely they connect in at some point.
Well, I was just thinking if there's an intellect devourer coming in and eating the brains of the fighters who fought, that the area underneath that it would lead to the mind flayers. I didn't share this with the rest of the party. I'm mad at them right now, but you can go talk to them. I'm going to go down to the city offices and see what I can find.
All right, well enough. Well, good luck on your search with that. I hope you bring good news in due time. And Mert continues heading off the rest of the way to Troll Skull, and Mix makes his way off toward the city offices. So the rest of you there, you're in Troll Skull. Um, you know, Jinka, you're kind of sitting up there in the kind of main area, and you see out the window, Mert coming up towards the door.
Hey guys, that Merc guy's coming.
Shortly afterwards, you hear a knock.
I'll go answer the door, let him in.
All right. So Mert comes in, bows graciously to the four of you, and sets his hat down the table and says, "Well, I heard some good news, it seems. I passed by your friend Mix on the way here. You mentioned that you had gotten a little more information, I guess, about the Mind Flayer issue that I had mentioned to you all." He looks at you, Torta, for a moment. He's like, "I hope it wasn't too much trouble. You seem to have a bit of a scar on your eye there."
Oh, that's just for messing around with Boo.
Oh, the days of venturing. Those are wild times, aren't they? I remember those days fondly in my own life. Well, what what were you able to find out? I mean, Mix had mentioned something about an intellect devourer, I guess, which usually those are seen in near company to mind flayers. But was there anything else? I remember you said you guys were checking out that fighting club I mentioned to you. Is that that's still going, right? Still going strong, I believe.
Well, we're the reigning champs of the Fight Club right now.
Oh, so you got involved that way, did you? Well,
You
at
got to
least,
get your hands dirty.
I mean, at least you came out on the top end and not on the bottom end, that's for sure.
Yeah, Mick's got the bottom end.
Oh, well,
I kind of killed him.
Mix has always kind of been a bottom.
well, I guess that would explain why he was mad at you all. He mentioned that in passing. So, do you plan to head back there and break in, or what do you plan to do?
I had planned to go back and fight some more. It was good fun.
Well, I'm certain it was, but you best be careful getting too involved in the matters there. I mean, you already had your troubles with the law in the past. Probably best to lay a little low, especially so soon. You don't want
Hey.
the city coming after you once again.
I've never been in trouble with the laws. These fools, they got in trouble. I just smile really, really big. He's even got a tattoo. Look at the prison tier.
I've done time. You know that.
Mert just kind of chuckles at this and says, "Well, whatever you do end up doing, I wish you the best in your endeavors, and I hope that you're able to resolve the matter swiftly. We can't have too many more of our city officials going missing or turning up under the control of a creature like that."
Yeah, we're working on it. We'll get you taken care of.
Okay, well, good. That's good to hear. Well, I wish you all the best with that. I believe your friend was out looking for some information on your behalf for accessing where this mind flayer might be. But I hope you're all able to get in there together and do some good adventuring work for us all.
Might have to beat the information out of him if he's mad.
Adventuring. Those were the days. Those were the days. And he kind of picks up his hat and puts it back on his head and starts making his way outside the door, just kind of chuckling to himself and kind of shaking his head the whole way at your antics.
Come back anytime, Mert.
Oh, don't worry, I will. All right. So, at this point, this will probably be a good place to stop for tonight, since we're right about at 11. Let me take a look here. See if there's anyone else. Oh, hey Frida, sorry I didn't see you there. I know it's a little harder watching chat on D&D nights. Let me see if there's anybody else I know streaming right now. I'm checking here. Let me load up Twitch.
There's one from Heroes Wanted that's streaming right now.
Oh yeah? Who?
Hip Hop Hokage GM. Here, I'll
Yep.
put it in Discord for you.
Raid, Hip, Hop, Hokage, GM. Okay.
DM. Hip Hop Hokage DM, sorry.
Oh, DM. Okay. All right.
I said it
raid.
wrong.
Okay, cool. Looks like I got it right. Sweet. So we'll
Yep.
raid Hip Hop Hokage DM here. And we'll pick back up with more Dragon Heist in 2 weeks. See what gets up to then. Thank you all for coming and have a good one. Bye.
Did you cut off the stream?
Yep. It is